Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Underground Sound. I am DJ Exec. With me, as always, is Carlos Fandango. Today, we have a very special guest commentator, Justine Painter of Wayward Waves. Justine, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
You're quite welcome. Let's see. So, Justine, you do electronic music here, and just not to dive way too deep into Wayward Waves at the moment here. We'll touch on that throughout the show. But let me ask you, how did you get started? What made you choose electronic music, and where do you see your future plans taking you with your particular genre of music?
I've always really loved electronic music. I was a dance fitness instructor back in college and subsequently became a belly dancer, at least on the side. Mostly I pursued left brain career stuff for years and years and always really enjoyed music throughout those years. I loved ambient, new age dance music. I really enjoyed hitting the dance clubs, and only in the last 8 years did I free myself up to do creative things. And I started floundering around with various endeavors and pursued Photoshop for a while, did some Photoshop art. And that's actually serving me really well today for cover art. And then
that's actually your own art.
Yes, I do.
Is it? Wow.
I do.
So extremely creative from different angles and things. So it's not just the music.
Yes, I really love Photoshop, and I thought I was going to head that direction, doing fantasy Photoshop art. And I've done some really fun stuff. It really surprised me even. And so I've been so passionately moved by some artists, some music that I've heard, that I always felt like I wanted to recreate that. I wanted to do something that would be like that. And when I discovered the digital audio workstation, it was an epiphany. It was like, okay, I can do this justice. I've got to run with this. And that was only as recent as December of 21. And so I started working with that, playing around, and did my very first song, which nobody's heard. It's kind of funny. But did my first song, and I thought, wow, okay, this is fun. And the name Wayward Waves emerged in honor of my late father, who, as a writer, would sometimes use Wayward Watson as his trade name. So I ran with that. I liked the word Wayward, because it kind of fit the direction I saw myself heading. That I was wayside, wayward, and waves would be sound waves. And I just thought, okay, that works. And made my first song in January. And I caught COVID. And so I really hunkered down while I was sick and made my first song, which was Misty Forest. And after that, I decided, okay, one song a month, we'll see how it goes. And I've done 6 more songs since then, and they're received quite well. So I've been surprised. It's exciting.
So, with the electronic genre that you do, have most of your influences been electronic, or do you have other influences? Do you like draw inspiration from maybe some rock music, or where do you draw inspiration from when you're thinking about making your music here?
It is mostly electronic. Of course, electronic is a really broad word that encompasses a lot of different subgenres.
When I'm meaning electronic, where we'd be talking probably about like Jean-Michel Jarre, or like Daft Punk, or
yeah, it originally started with Vangelis and Tangerine Dream. Is that what they were called?
Yeah, Tangerine Dream.
Brilliant. Yeah. And then Depeche Mode came in there, Enigma came in there, and then subsequently, in more recent years, it's been a group called Asura, and Suduaya. Let's see, Astronaut Ape. Those are some E-Mantra. It just kind of psychedelic ambient, but also dance oriented. Some world influences. I'm partial to Middle Eastern, Arab type sounds, which is reflective in my song Lunar Mirage.
I was
Because
going to think Desert Relics.
partly because what's that?
I was going to think Desert Relics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was my initial attempt at adding some of that influence. Lunar Mirage is my current favorite. It's not everybody's favorite, but it reflects a lot of what I think I'm capable of doing, using those world influences, and that is a foundation that I want to build on. I do really enjoy dance styles, which I recently experimented in, and kind of a hit and miss, I think, effort. Beyond that, that's the direction I'm headed. I don't know if that answers your question.
We were talking about this a little bit before the show here. Social media, your brand new musical presence on social media. How are you feeling that you're traversing this this never-ending mountain that keeps on getting bigger and bigger of social media, as it were?
Yeah, it's kind of like a responsibility. Once you get started, you got to keep going if you want it to get that exponential growth. And that's been a challenge for me. I've been slow to get off the ground. I had not messed around with social media prior to January of this year. I had a Facebook account that was dormant. And so anyway, I tried to revive it. I added a new Facebook account. I got Instagram started up, and I tried Twitter, and I don't know, I have mixed feelings about Twitter. And now I'm hearing that TikTok's all the rage, and I haven't even gotten on there yet. So my husband is completely addicted to TikTok. He puts himself to sleep every night watching those videos.
Well, at least he falls asleep, because some people do stay up.
Well, he'll admit he's guilty of that too. In the middle of the night, he'll get up to go to the bathroom, and he'll get back on TikTok for a few minutes.
That was one of the things that happened with me. We were talking about this earlier, but I started cooking dinner, and I was on YouTube Shorts. I wasn't on TikTok, but I was on YouTube Shorts. Pretty much the same thing. But so I had cooked dinner, eaten, went, changed into my PJs, laid down, and literally fell asleep to YouTube Shorts. And then I looked at my screen time the next day, and I was on YouTube Shorts for something like 5 hours and 41 minutes. Absolutely insane.
So how many shorts? So YouTube Shorts, how long do they last? Is there a maximum time?
A maximum time of 1 minute, so you could go anywhere from 15 seconds to 1 minute.
So I mean, it was more than 5 hours. So 5 hours times 65 times 6. So it's 300 videos.
Yeah, some.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, you were sleeping through most of it, but still.
Well, I mean, I really, here's the thing, because I usually have my my AirPods in, right, when I'm like kind of like out and about in the house, because I'm cooking. I put the vent on the microwave, because otherwise everything's just going to steam up there. So if I just had it like on the TV, for example, the vent would muffle out the sound. So I put in my AirPods so that way I could hear it off the phone. So there would be a video that would like literally like repeat itself until I turned around and I like swiped. So it was more about listening to what was going on rather than actually watching some of the videos. But some of the videos that caught my attention while listening to it, I would like turn around and actually watch it. But it's very easy to fall down that rabbit hole. It's social media is definitely, it's a very tricky animal here. So well, we'll touch base more with you here throughout the show, and obviously we do wish you the best in in your future.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I didn't answer that. Yeah, my plans are basically, long story short, are to continue. No, I just remembered you asked that question. That I want to continue the same path. I want to do better with every song, and I'm adding visual stimuli for the music with videos. I want to get better and better at that too, because I am very visual as well, because I was an artist when I was young, and as well as with Photoshop. So yeah, just heading that direction.
So when you're doing your visual videos, where do you gather content from?
Right now, I'm using Shutterstock.
Shutterstock, okay.
Yeah, and they're not cheap. Go ahead.
No.
Because you, Carl, you were you using Shutterstock as well, or
I think it was. Is there iStock? Is that?
iStock is a good one.
Yep, that's what I used for the Christmas lyric videos. And in the end, because I messed up in paying for one and realised I'd kind of there was a better deal on offer, so I contacted them and they on the message thing, and they came back and said, well, why don't you just do 1 month? And then you can get 10 videos for the 1 month, and you can always renew it if you want next month or whenever you want. And I thought, oh, that'll do, because what I'll do is just manipulate those videos and just it's 13 songs using 10 stock video bits of footage. I just had to be a bit creative with it to make it interesting, but I would like to have had 20. But the problem is, then you're talking about a lot of money, aren't you? And if it's all down to you, this is the problem with we've said before: the time, the resource, the money. And if it's just you doing all of it, then it's a drain, and it's not an endless
it is a drain.
of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to do what you can with the limited resources.
Yeah. And by the way, real quick, Pixabay is another source of videos that's free. Now, they're not necessarily great. You'll get an isolated great one here and there, but it is an option to intersperse those with your paid videos. That's kind of what I did with the last one.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's usually what I use. I use Pixabay and Pexels are my two first go-tos whenever I'm looking for stock video footage. I haven't tried either Shutterstock or iStock for that matter, just because it is quite pricey.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, for any musician out there that you're thinking about doing like a visual video, then obviously check out either Pixabay, Pexels, Shutterstock, or iStock. Those will have video elements for you, so that way if you're looking to create a video element behind your music, those are good ways to go about it. And if you have a Mac, then obviously iMovie would be your default program, which is a great program to learn on. Very, very, very user friendly. So that's what we're doing. We're always talking about the musicians here and how to progress in life and progress in your music career. So it's always great to have these tools at your advantage there. And once again, not associated or not affiliated with either one of those. We don't get. There's not going to be a link there that you press it and we're going to get some kind of money for you going there. We're just throwing it out there for your knowledge here. So, all righty, on with the show, I think, because we've been chatting quite a bit. We started about an hour and 20 minutes ago, technically.
Talking.
Carl, what can you tell us about our show opener here?
Right. This is female solo artist called Julez, Julez, from, now I don't know if it's Bray or Bray, California, USA.
It is Bray.
It's Bray. Okay. So now she's got 2 tracks released so far on slaps.com, 77 plays and 7 followers. I think this one's a sort of fairly vibrant show opener. So I thought this one might be quite a nice opener. It's called Everything's Gonna Be Okay. We don't know a lot about her in her profile, but she's a singer-songwriter, alternative rock.
So actually, Justine, what do you think? Because I know that I know that the Tar Pits are in La Brea, which I think is spelled the same way. So do you think that this would be Brea, California, or would this be Brea, California?
Yeah, I actually lived in California for a while, and I've not heard of that city or town. Brea is the instinct I have.
Okay, so in either case, it's either Brea or Brea, but I know that where they have all the fossils and everything like that is La Brea, California. So let's just say Brea for the time being here. But let's check this one out. So we let's see. This is pretty cool cover art. Everything's going to be all right. Pretty cool cover art going on there. Julez posted 8 days ago. 47 plays here. Singer-songwriter. Everything's going to be okay. Let's check it out.
Sometimes I think about how things would turn out if you weren't here. 'Cause everything's gonna be okay. My life is so much better when you're around. Do you feel the 'Cause this time I swear we'll be okay. I swear we'll be okay. Don't know what I did wrong, but if you say so, hard to make love when you think that I don't love you. Don't go spit it in my face. There's not much more my heart can take. Don't go running away, 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 away. 'Cause this time I swear we'll be okay. I swear we'll be okay. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I swear we'll be okay. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I swear we'll be okay.
Carlos Fandango, please take it away here, sir.
Yeah, so there's a very modern and contemporary sound to the vocals, the production, and that sort of modern US rock sound, I guess. But solid vocals, solid song. It's not what I'd call. It's radio friendly. It's got appeal, so I think there's a market for it. It's interesting that a lot of the breaks now aren't, say, guitar breaks or something, but they're at that quieter section in the song where it sort of either goes a bit muffly or quieter then, and then it sort of comes back in. So there's it's following a definite format and structure. It's a modern structure for a song. So so it's solid. I've listened to it a couple of times, but I know that there's people out there that would definitely like this.
I agree 100%. Justine Painter, what say you? Another female artist.
Yes, I thought it was pretty good. It's obviously a fast guitar, shred, pop rock kind of thing. About 2/3 into the song, it does, like Carl says, it gets kind of slower and it's really pretty, I think. The voice quality is good, the guitar, and then there's a pause in the beat, a nice transition back to the beat. She adds, I think, a little bit of harmony vocals for the finale, which I think is awesome. It made me crave another one of these softer passages that has some differences, and then maybe build up to a climactic ending. She has another song that she's done called Lucky that really showcases her voice range, the quality. It's really good. So this song does not feature her voice quite as much because it's so fast. But otherwise, it's a consistent quality throughout. I would love to have seen a bio on her. I think that would be awesome. If there was more information about how, what influenced her creation of these songs.
I think I got to say personally, once again, folks, for those of you that do not know yet, in the video description below is where you'll find the links to these artists. So if you're going to go listen to the other song, Lucky, to hear the vocal talents of this young singer here, then by all means visit the video description, click on that link, show some love there. I definitely felt a very kind of like Gwen Stefani from the days of No Doubt to Avril Lavigne kind of like vibe to this whole song. Agreeing with Carl here, the break wasn't really like a break. They just kind of like muffled the instruments and everything kind of like just came back into play there. Not to say this was a bad song, definitely radio friendly. It's got that mainstream feel to it. It really does, where this song is definitely a song that could take off, and it has a lot of potential. I think, however, because of how many changes there were throughout those 3.5 minutes there, the song feels like it may have been rushed. Maybe there wasn't enough time taken into it to develop each individual section Personally, it just kind of like flows from beginning to end, right? Because the break came in very abruptly and then it left very abruptly as well and went back into the song. I do like the vocal showcase, as you had mentioned, Justine. Her vocals are very good. They're layered nicely, so you get that little bit of that hint of the background vocal and the forward vocal going on. So yeah, overall, good song. Wishing you much success in your future here, and I'm going to make a note of it here to check out Lucky, as Justine had pointed out. To
Yeah, I was thinking after Justine said, well, while the song was playing. Sorry, button there. I was thinking, I wonder what because the range, is massive in that song. It's all along one plane. All along one plane. And not massive range. So I'm glad you said about the other song, Justine, because it's that other one, Lucky, is just a short song, but I was actually thinking, I wonder what her range is, because some singers you can hear it and you think, okay, so they're good in that genre. Would they be good at other things? And what is their range? Can they sing the high stuff, the low stuff, the different dynamics of singing? So because some vocalists are really good at just applying themselves to anything and interpreting songs. So you think she'd be potentially quite good at other genres as well, do you think, Justine?
Yeah, I think she's chosen her genre. I think that she has that vocal quality that is real popular amongst the kids these days. It's a certain kind of accentuation that is, I feel, is kind of novel. It's a different kind of articulation, I should say, that they're using. That's really cool. I think it's nice. So yeah, I think that she'll continue to make some good songs.
Good.
Well, I will check out Lucky. I'm glad that you guys have listened to it, so that way you guys have some input on it here. I will listen to Lucky later on today. As for right now, then well, we pretty much got into it, so I can't add anything more onto it. So moving on. Song number 2. We have is this Ronnie?
It could be Ronnie. I read it as Roni, but it's actually probably is Ronnie, isn't it? It's a United Kingdom, RONI. I'm a 17-year-old I'm a 17-year-old versatile singer-songwriter with loads of songs in the locker, so follow and stay tuned. I'm one of those people who's followed. Influences are Sam Smith, Post Malone, M. Huncho, and Bruno Mars. Yeah, just thought this could be interesting. It's called Don't Stop. Funny you should mention Gwen Stefani. Yeah, that was Gwen Stefani, wasn't it?
That was Don't Speak.
Oh, Don't Speak. Oh, there we are.
Yeah, Don't Speak, no doubt.
Don't Speak, no doubt.
Yeah, that was way back in.
What am I thinking of then?
I don't know. Don't stop believing.
Stop. Maybe.
Don't.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Leave. Right, here we go. Ronnie or Roni. Don't Stop. A chill song here. It is available on YouTube and Spotify as well. 3 minutes 30 seconds. Let's check it out.
Fly like never before. Do you remember? Do you remember? All those days that we shared together. Do you remember? Do you remember? Look away with those eyes and see the past is moving on. It feels like forever. It feels like forever. Don't stop. I'm waiting all my life for this. Please wait before it all is really quick. And I just wanna let you know that I'll never let go. Don't stop. I'm waiting all my life for this. Please wait before it all is really quick. And I just wanna let you know that I'll never let go. Forever, forever feels like forever. Just so many days, girl, I can't even remember. Looking at the past, gotta focus on the future. Focus on the future. Can't even see my reflection. Yeah, I need change. Yeah, I need a new direction. Time flies by, but I'm still the same person. I don't know if I ever learn my lesson. Don't stop, been waiting all my life for this. Please wait before it all ends really quick. And I just wanna let you know that I'll never let go. Don't stop, I'm waiting all my life for this. Please wait before it all ends really quick. And I just wanna let you know that I'll never let go. Don't stop, I'm waiting all my life for this. Please wait before it all ends really quick. And I just wanna let you know that I'll never let go. I wanna go back to those better days. Do you remember? Do you remember? Oh, give me a time and a place. Before you know it will be gone. I'll be there whenever. I'll be there whenever. Oh, so don't stop, I'm waiting all my life for this. Please wait before it all ends really quick. And I just wanna let you know that I'll never let go. Don't stop, I'm waiting all my life for this. Please wait before it all ends really quick. And I just wanna let you know that I'll never let go.
Monsieur Fandango.
Okay, really nice piano intro, and when that bass comes in on my headphones here, it just really sort of lifts the song off. Really, yeah, it takes off at that point. But this song is all about the vocals, all centers around. Yeah, it's a nice song actually. It's a pleasant song. It's nice lyrics, and it's it's a song that people would definitely connect with. It's a bit Ed Sheeran in places. It's contemporary. I can hear a little bit the Sam Smith influence. I can't stand Sam Smith's vocals, but I really like this guy's vocals. And if he stays true to himself and carries on singing in his own way, sounded a little bit lacking in confidence on some of the parts. But that might be the vulnerability of the vocal delivery that he's trying to get across, I think. But this would connect with people. His range is quite nice. He delivers the high notes nicely and delicately, but it's all about the vocals, this whole song, and he delivers really well. I really like this guy's potential. He's definitely got potential here. Very radio friendly, commercially viable, 3 minutes 30, just nicely packaged. Happy with the song, totally.
Miss Wayward Waves, Justine Painter, what say you here?
Yes, it was interesting, Carl, that you focused on the vocals, which is understandable. I tend to focus more on the music. And although the vocals did seem dominant to me, they were wonderful, a great range. I would hear things like the string pad, in the chorus, and which I thought added beauty to the overall sound. It brought some sweet, sad emotion. In fact, that chorus was real catchy. It made you want to sing along. Again, his voice is like Jules, I forget her name. It's real, it fits the modern pop preference. It's got a really good style, wonderful. I think the essence of the lyrics was time slipping away. I don't know what "Don't Stop" referred to. Maybe "Don't Stop Us," our relationship. In fact, in the end, I wanted that final chorus to carry his voice away in a reverb, or like maybe the music drowns his voice out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it would fit the lyrics, like he was drifting away.
Well, we've had this thing before where a lot of the modern songs have cold cuts and have to just end dead. I am a massive each song I'm a big fan of just applying fade out or cold cuts as applicable to the song. Whatever's best for the song should always work. And I agree with you. It's like even if the music stopped, the vocal could fade out, the music
Yes.
could get, and you could actually probably extend that by another 30
Yeah.
seconds, 20 seconds with orchestration coming in.
The ending was abrupt. I felt. I
Yeah.
felt because considering the lyrics and how time is drifting away, I thought, okay, he needs to kind of drift away. So
Good idea.
yeah.
Mm.
And again, once again, I do wonder about a bio. I was looking for a bio, but that's fine.
Wasn't too much of a bio. 17-year-old singer,
Right.
versatile singer, songwriter. I kind of thought of the Verve Pipe for whatever reason. I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to kind of like place this because this kind of like does sound a little bit like, let's say, Elton Johnish as well, right? With the piano, I could definitely see this being like, if we were to go back to the 80s and Elton John were to perform something like this, I could definitely see that. But I mean, I kind of got a Verve Pipe feel for it. I think that the vocals could have been much more accentuated than they actually were. They seemed a little bit low when we're going to in comparison with where the instruments were, as to oppose where the vocals were. It seemed like the vocals were being drowned out at times. Not sure if I caught a hint of some auto tune in there. Not sure. It was just kind of like one of those things again with the instruments being as high as they were. You really couldn't tell if there was too much effect put on the vocals or not. But I do agree with both of you where the ending is very abrupt. It could have gone on for a little bit more, and the story itself could have gone on for a little bit more as well, or there could have been a bit more of a climax to it. I should say. So I mean, overall, I mean, if we were to score it on like a 1 to 10 basis, I would give it like a 7. Because it is pretty decent production, because you can hear all the instruments very clearly, and as Justine was saying, you can pick up on the pads in the background, and you're listening to little nuances and everything like that. So great production of a song, a little bit more work, and I think it's a decent mix. I just don't think that it's living up to its full potential. I definitely don't think that the vocals are up to their full potential either on that one. Just my 2 cents.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be a case of, as it's his first song on here, at least. I don't know if it's his first song, but I said, I sensed on some of those phrases that there might be a little bit of lacking in confidence, but I think the chap should definitely grow in confidence and just be confident in your voice, give it all you've got. It might be a case that was the vocal delivery. It's a vulnerable, tender song. That's the vocal he may have delivered deliberately, or it might be that he's just actually not feeling the confidence.
He's got 6 total songs on Slaps that I think I listened
Oh, sorry,
to.
it's not his best.
I listened to a few of those, and they're hip hop style pop. And I made a note to myself, his voice is amazing. So he probably explores other themes with his voice.
I have 2 tracks.
Oh, 2 tracks here. There might be 6 comments on that one, but there was Talking to Reflections as well.
Maybe I'm looking at another
Could be.
social media.
Yeah, I have Don't Stop, the one that we just listened to, and Talking to Reflections, 2 tracks.
Okay, I must have looked on social media and found 6 or something. Maybe I typed something wrong.
It could be that he's got some on. Yeah, a lot of the artists have some on Slaps, but more on Spotify and
other
elsewhere.
platforms. Yeah, there very, very well could be. Slaps is still not a very, very wildly popular format, which I think it should be. I love the interaction that you could have on Slaps. Something that's not available on Spotify. Even something as simple as dropping a fire. I think that gives a nice little confidence boost to the musicians that are out there. So
for a 17-year-old, no less.
Exactly. Yes.
And it looks like he's actually producing, writing and performing and producing his own stuff as well. So for 17 years old, he's got good potential.
Yeah.
I will just say from the underground sound, Ronnie, hey, chin up. You're doing good. Keep the production going. Believe me, it gets better with time. The more, as they say, practice makes perfect. So good on you. Wishing you a very successful career. It is that time.
It is that time.
Now we take
Oh,
Justine
boy.
Peter by surprise.
Right.
Well, oh no,
Bubble.
So,
Destiny.
and here we are. Right.
There.
Okay. So,
Karnak. Karnak. Johnny
Karnak.
Carson's Karnak. Remember?
There you go.
Oh,
See,
what's that?
see.
Yeah.
That dates us, you know.
Yeah.
Johnny Carson, remember?
Oh,
I do.
well, now when you said that, I didn't know if that was what you saying. That's the moment to choose the one.
Yeah.
If not, I should put this back in because it's me choosing it. Otherwise, I'll put it back in. So you say when.
Sorry.
And
I just like the fact that Justine had a purple.
Well, my husband and I recently bought the purple mattress, so we got these little
excellent.
sleeping. I think.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you
Sleeping
put
mask,
it on and just say when, and you won't know exactly when it's going to be. you know?
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Okay, when?
Oh, all right. One of those, right? This is a different one. Oh, we choose. Well, it just says right. It just says we choose. We choose.
We
Oh.
choose.
Oh,
Okay.
well, should we let our guest Justine
Absolutely.
choose the genre? So you've got lots of genres to choose from on Slaps, and the world's your oyster.
Oh, well, naturally, I'm going to lean towards, I don't know, ambient. That's
Oh,
kind of a
ambient.
broad
Yeah.
category.
Could be an interesting one.
Ambient is like electronic. It's got so many sub
yeah.
genres.
Well, the thing is, that's I got into a phase a few years back of just going to sleep to listen to some Vangelis albums, and actually Soil Festivities album of Vangelis was one I just got hooked on, and then loads of Brian Eno, and then some Tangerine Dream as well. And just falling asleep to that stuff is brilliant. And it's that sort of ambient, particularly the Brian Eno stuff. I loved it.
Yes, I did too.
It's great. So, what's the latest?
Well, we have one brand new track here from Fern Liz, posted 18 minutes ago. Let's see. Fern Liz is from Rhode Island, United States. Here.
Ambient
You know,
meditation.
Now we might need to go for one that's slightly shorter. So, is that one a 3 minute?
This one is 5 minutes.
Mind you, it doesn't really matter, does it? Well,
No, I mean, this is what we're usually doing with the Purple Bowl.
that's true. Purple Bowl was decided.
I don't think we should tempt fate here, So
No, true.
yeah.
Don't go against the bowl.
Yeah. Not much of any kind of description here at all, except for the fact of Rhode Island in the US. 3 tracks posted, 28 plays with 3 followers. Genres include new age, ambient, instrumentals, chill out, chill vibes, synthwave, rock, and pop. The song was posted 18 minutes ago, though, available on Spotify and YouTube as well, listed as new age and ambient. Here is Fern Liz with Blue Mist at Dawn. Alrighty. I think we'll put Miss Painter on the spot here since that was purple. Justine,
Totally unprepared here.
what'd you think?
Well, obviously it's background meditative, yoga. It's very, very soothing. I don't know how you guys stayed awake. It's just really, it's very calming. But listening to it more intently, of course, I wanted a little bit more in it, like effects. It lacked a pattern. Like I wanted it to have a returning sound that it didn't have. It just kind of flowed at random. There was a little dong sound and then a chime type of sound near the end. That could be more consistently added along with something else maybe. I thought I heard a couple of flaws in the flow. It may just be the way that the sound is coming through double through our speakers, headphones. Other than that, it was, I guess it fit what she was intending to, or he, I didn't look. She was intending to accomplish. It was pretty close to her goal, I think. It needed a little bit more from me.
Carlos Fandango.
Yeah, I was sort of hearing sort of elements of that Soil Festivities album, actually, the Vangelis thing. Terry Oldfield in there. It's nice. It's haunting. It's aptly titled Blue Mist at Dawn. Feels like a blue mist at dawn. It's meditative, evocative. Yeah, I like those deep sort of chimes, those deep dong, Tibetan bowl, whatever they might be. There's a very nice sound. And I think this is the thing. It's like with a really long track from. So taking on Justine's point, that if it's a long track, I think then you can have those recurring themes coming in, and the shorter track with I say shorter, it's 5 minute track, but a shorter track like a 5 minutes track, you can still have those recurring themes. Although I think it's more because it's meditative music. It's maybe that's the idea, is that it just drifts and it just does its own thing and it just meanders
like fog, mist.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, just meandering and bringing just sort of different thicknesses of mist towards you and all that kind of thing. So. So I don't know. I really liked it. So I followed and added some fire and saved it. So I think that's definitely Fern's achieving her objective with the music, and good at what she does. And keen to hear more. Really.
I agree. Here's what I was thinking about. Because the name of I'm just going to say the artwork here. Right, ambient meditation music. It's exactly what it is. And I was kind of like picturing Enigma. So if you take Enigma for like Sadness, for example, right, and you take out the heavy kick drum and you take out the bass, then you're left with basically you're basically left with like the Buddhist monks kind of like chanting and you're left with that nice little melody, which would definitely flow with this one. I think the Blue Mist at Dawn. So I liked it. I like that little gong in there, the ding, you can pick up, there's subtle hints in the background, which make this a very kind of relaxing song. So imagine taking a song like Sadness from Enigma once again, and just removing all the hardcore elements that make it like kind of like a more dancey song.
Yeah.
And kind of like making it kind of like music to fall asleep to, music to meditate by. Once again, ambient meditation.
Right.
It would exactly fit. It does fit in that genre. It's a really nice production. The melodies are very up to par. Everything kind of like flows the way that it's supposed to, and again, not really an abrupt ending when there's not one to be had. It just kind of fades away very nicely, I think.
Agreed.
I liked it. I think that was a good choice from the Purple Bowl and from Justine combined. An awesome team. That was good.
Oh boy,
I've really listened to ambient music for a while, so it's made me actually might get me back into it again.
Yeah, no, I had it playing on the monitors here, and it sounded really good, and that was something that I would definitely put on the kind of like chill and kind of like relax, kind of like
Mhm.
playlist. You know, it would definitely. It was good. I like that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Very nice.
Yeah.
looking. Yeah.
Beautiful.
More to come there.
Mm.
Right now, as it is, time does move on and on and on. We have a song called Radio Frequencies by North V, Carlos Fandango. What's going on here?
Right. Again, we haven't really got much of a profile except that they're from he, they, she. They are from Helsinki, Finland. I don't know if it's a group artist or what have you, but we'll hopefully find out and get to the bottom of it. But they, it looks like their influences include Daft Punk, Calvin Harris, Black Sabbath, Machine Head, The Chainsmokers. There's Metallica in there as well, Avicii. So sort of like a dance, rock, metal type thing going on. I can't remember what the song was like actually, but it's called Angst Athens. Sorry, so North V is actually Angst Athens is the actual artist name.
Yes, my bad.
So and
Yeah.
Radio Frequency. So it says Radio Frequencies is a retro wave track full of nostalgia, inducing synth sounds. It was written on a flight back from Italy and inspired by the meditative feeling of a long flight.
Well, there we go on that. I always look at obviously where the little profile picture is, and I see North V. It is Angst Athens though, and Radio Frequencies is the name of the song here. Available also on Spotify, iTunes, or it's not iTunes anymore, Apple Music,
Apple Music,
and YouTube. So let's check this one out. Radio Frequencies. Who would like to take the comment section away on that one?
Now I remember
I-
I'll say Justine because
Yeah. Okay.
I picked this one for Justine, I think, because it's got the electronic and it's also our regular sort of instrumental of the week.
Yes, and that's great because you're right. This does lean more towards what I tend to favor. I really love the retro synths, the beginning arpeggio. It aligns really well with imagining being in flight because that's what he mentioned. Is it was written on a flight. nice instrumental layering and changes. He has a nice build to a more intense mixture of sounds. The soft part was well done. It kind of promises bigger things, especially with that pad you hear. It starts to come in, and then when it does explode in a more epic sound, it's fulfilling because of that hint that's brings you there. It does seem to me it could be a little longer. That's me again. I like it could be one more variation in the patterns. Like after that epic crescendo, he adds another spin of creative, softer sounds. Then maybe back to that epic conclusion. I think there is in fact an extended mix of this song. I thought I saw it on a sample on iTunes, Apple Music. I think that there was a little bit of static at the beginning and at the end, but that's probably not important. I do like that he describes the song. You know, how did it come forth? What was it related to? I mean, I always appreciate that.
Mm.
His other songs, by the way, are great synthwave and future pop, dance-oriented, mostly EDM. That I really liked. There's one in particular called Forget You. It's popular and particularly good in my opinion. Someone said it's 007 movie worthy, and I agreed with that. Yeah, it sounded like the theme of a beginning 007 movie. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It's I like this one because it was you could hear his slight Daft Punk influence. Lots of retro sounds. I mean, you've got sort of this could fit into Stranger Things very easily.
Yeah.
It sounds like a sort of John Carpenter 80s film theme type thing. Very John Carpenter, in fact. So it's, for me, it's like almost the end credits of an 80s film on video. Just reminiscing about those sort of sounds you used to get. And I think the classic synth string sounds, that lovely deep. The thing that made it very John Carpenter was the sort of deep boom, 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 that sort of theme going on. Very, very John Carpenter. And after that quiet bit, when the beat drops back in again, it's really, really sort of hits home, and it's great because that's when the arpeggiators come in as well, and it really sort of takes off and takes flight, kind of thing, like the actual the plane ride that he was on, plane flight. And loved it. Really, really like the one. I agree that I think this is like for me, in my mind, it sort of conjures up an image of this is the short version for the theme to the film, and there's a longer version on the album or something. That's kind of how I'm imagining. That's how I'd do it anyway.
I felt the same way. Yeah.
I got to tell you, here's what I was thinking at first. I was definitely thinking of a little bit of Vangelis in there, along with Depeche Mode. If you remember Muse when they came out with that album Simulation Theory, I could definitely see that. I mean, it's great, fantastic. You know what I loved was one thing that I would have loved, I should say, right, is this entire build up to that drop, you know, at the 3/4 point, right? I would have loved it if some vocals had come in there.
Oh yeah.
If some vocals would have come in there, it would have like blown that music
Made it
to an entirely different level. Like, I mean, if there was just that drop right there with some words in it, but I mean, certified banger all the way, 100%, most definitely. It's very groovy. I got to listen to the other stuff. As you saw, I saved the track, give it a couple of fires as we were listening. Very nice, clean production, as Carlos likes to say, slick. It has the ebb and flow without the words in it. I liked it. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan just from the one song so far. So, yeah, great choice. Great choice.
Good.
I don't really have much to say on it, but beyond that, I mean, I have no critique, because if there were vocals on it, I mean, we could definitely talk about the vocals a little bit more, you know. But without the vocals, I really, once again, really, really, when that drop was coming in, hoping for the vocals, no vocals, but oh well. What can you?
Well, some tracks you can hear it vocals on. I can't imagine what the vocals would be like on that one, because I quite like it as it is. Although I can imagine there's a lot of synth tracks that you think, yeah, that definitely vocal as well. That would really go well. But some of these tracks work well either way.
Just a simple kind of vocal. I mean, even if you think back to Massive Attack, right? Massive Attack really didn't. I mean, there's not much. It's mostly electronic music going on, but they do have a little bit of vocal in there, right? So a little bit of vocal element. Once again, just that entire buildup to the drop was good as is. I just personally think that if there were a vocal there, if there were something there, that it could have just made it that much better. Honestly, just in my opinion. But,
and then on the other hand, from my perspective, I always think instead of vocals, my first thought is what other instrument could go in there to complete a range of sound that would be more fulfilling.
right.
So it did feel like it needed something more there, and vocals versus some other instrument.
I personally think if it were another instrument, it would be overdone because all the instruments came crashing at once, right?
Yeah.
So I think it would have been overdone. I would have would have loved to have heard some words there, I should say. So
Okay.
that would be my only thing. But I mean, no criticism as far as that's concerned, because I do think that the track is good as is. It was just it would have been a very nice kind of like Easter egg, right? A nice little surprise if there had been something like that there. Just saying.
That's true, because it had a long build up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like going through this kind of like slight meditative phase of listening to this build up, and then it hits like this rock section. And if there were vocals on top of it, once again, I just think that it could have like really completed something just more. But again, nothing wrong with the song at all whatsoever. Just
Could have been the captain. Please fasten your seatbelts.
And
prepare to land.
Very bumpy landing, I guess. We have Leah Simmons going on here. Radiate is the name of the song. What do we got going on here, Carl?
Right. Leah Simmons is solo artist from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, USA. So your neck of the woods, Tom, ish. And singer, guitarist, songwriter, and producer, constantly creating jams about who knows what. And she's on various social media. It's looks like her shared influence with me would be David Bowie, but she also likes Florence the Machine, Fleet Foxes, The Shins, Cigarettes After Sex, Ella Fitzgerald, Manchester Orchestra, Band of Horses. Half of them I haven't heard of, and some of them I have. I was listening to Fleet Foxes the other day. So I think this one's a interesting song. Radiate is just being released pretty much in the last week. So it's her latest one out. Okay,
so I was trying to see the history here. Not bad. 10 tracks, 759 plays, 73 followers for Leah Simmons there. Fort Lauderdale, my hometown, by the way. So yeah, my neck of the woods there. No longer live in Fort Lauderdale, on the other coast. But here's Leah Simmons with Radiate. Check this one out.
What am I supposed to do without you? Well, I guess I'm a little bit lonely, yeah. Everybody's got something going on, while I'm just stuck at home, wondering, how does time fly by so fast?
until you admit. How does time fly by so fast? With all of the times I tried to grab a hold of you, and you just slid right on through my two hands. Leading the search party, I could never obtain what I meant. After taking one step back, I learned how to freely love. True bliss is found in the and now I've got it about my way.
Take the comments away, whoever would like to. Justine?
Sure. I thought it was a soothing listen. It's obviously folk, but she sounds very country. That twang in her voice just kind of really brings it that direction. It's a great voice. I did see her on videos. She makes these great expressions. She's wonderful to watch. Pretty as well. And she is normally a solo acoustic performer around Florida. But she did this song with a producer, a separate studio, and some professional musicians apparently. And it's just, I think it's really well done. I think the final third of the song was my favorite. The instruments come in more heavily. They drown her voice out a little bit, but it blends well. I think that it's just a beautiful flow. There's a phrase near the end in the lyrics where she says, "True bliss is found in the effortless," and the way the music follows that is just real smooth, real pretty, beautiful. Other than that, I liked that she had a bio and her own website, plenty of info on her. It's wonderful.
Carlos Fanego.
Yeah, it's funny because when I first heard the opening few phrases of the singing, I thought, oh, okay, another one of those type of singers where they've got that kind of quirky, slightly quirky voice. And then within a couple of lines after that, I thought, oh no, this is someone with a really good voice, and she's got a really interesting delivery. Whether it's just this song, I don't know, or there are more songs like this, just the way she delivers. But this is an excellent delivery, really good voice. Liked it a lot. And yeah, country tinged ballad with soulful feel about it, because you've got that sort of jazz organ coming in subtly. It's well produced, and the instruments, as Justine says, are blended nicely. The drum sound, particularly the snare, it's got a real thwack to it, and it's a great, real thud. Lovely sound they got on the drums there. But it's got a lot going on. It's a nice build. It's nice structure. Again, I wouldn't be unhappy to hear a lot of these songs could have a space potentially for a solo of sorts. And here, I suppose the obvious thing to do would be a slide guitar, but it doesn't miss not having a sort of a really clear sort of solo. But yeah, overall, nice structure, good build, good production, and definitely listen to that a few times.
It kind of like just piggybacking on your point here with the with having a solo in there of some sort, right? I think that if you did an extended version of the song, it wouldn't hurt. Especially if you were going to perform the song live at a festival or something like that, then you could really have that instrumental or chorus break in the middle and make it a real great song. Her voice really surprised me at the beginning. I was expecting something totally different. I don't know what it was exactly that I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting her voice to come in like that. It came in this kind of like really low register, kind of like a Janis Joplin feel to it. You know what I mean? And I was kind of blown away by that. And I got to say that it's a very mellow, kind of like classic Americana, like kind of like country kind of thing going on here, and I liked it. It's a pro production, that's for sure. All the instruments are in line. I like the little the electric guitar kind of like subtly in the background, right? So it wasn't like super overpowering. So everything was just nicely done. Her vocals were the feature of the song, but as Justine had mentioned, like towards the middle third maybe portion of it, the vocals dropped a little bit and they were a little bit overwhelming. So all around, I think great song. And I gotta say, I do think that we are going to hear much more from Leah in the future. As far as the song goes, once again, pro quality. I think that I don't know if that vocal drop was done on purpose or not. If it was not, then very easily fixable. But I gotta say, very commercial song here. Very commercial song, and a nice halfway point for us.
Yes.
Okay. Well, with that being said, here's our halfway point. Once again, for all of you watching on YouTube or listening at home, I guess whenever the podcast comes back, if we do bring back the podcast, in fact, but for whatever portion that you're in, we are going to take our 5-10 minute break here right now. For you, it will once again be absolutely 100% seamless. We shall be back with you shortly with more great indie music. And if you don't know where to find these musicians or the links to them, please visit the links in the video description below. Click on these people, go find their music, show them some love. Visit Justine Painter, our special guest commentator today. Visit Carlos Fandango. Visit all these underground musicians. Show some love. We really appreciate the musicians for pumping out the music that they do. And they deserve a little something in return. So with that said, the Underground Sound, we are putting us back into music.
So please do like, subscribe, and share, and let's get your music out there.
And we will be back shortly here. What do we got going on here? So we're back for the second half of the Underground Sound here. We are on song 6 of this evening, and we have Jamba de Mampara.
Indeed. Mas que ella, which is More Than Yesterday. Talks about emotional disorder and the search for well-being despite low self-esteem and lack of self-love. And the profile is of this track. Okay, it's in Spanish, so I should actually translate. But I can see that looks like his multifaceted engineer, producer, musician. Okay, don't want to guess at those, but artistic and singer and so forth. So yeah, multiple talented artist, and his actual name is Sergio Jose D'Amico.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time. This is kind of odd. This is the first time that this has ever popped up like this for me. Let me get the tab up here. So Google Translate popped up, and for whatever reason, I've never seen that before. So it did an automatic translation of the page.
Wow.
Which is Jamba de Mampara is born from the sound need and the passionate personal reunion. Pandemic project, like so many lucid and directed dreams, once asleep awaken. Sergio D'Amico's compositions of voices. Gabriel Bologna, multifaceted engineer, producer, musician, psychologist, screenwriter, and craftsman. A handful of reasons, sensations, and songs. I'm pretty sure that there's a little bit lost in translation there.
Right.
But without further ado, let's listen to this one. Mas que ayer by Jamba de Mampara.
ayer. Más nostálgico es decir nada. No sé cómo decir, más abierto y desordenado fue escapar y volar. Sin el viento quedé postrado. Acostado volví, acusado por 1000 palabras. Es útil la razón, la metáfora alcoholizada. No sé cómo decir, más abierto y desordenado fue escapar y volar. Sin el viento quedé postrado. Acostado volví, acusado por 1000 palabras. Es útil la razón, la metáfora alcoholizada. Cuando me levanté, encontré mi cuerpo templado. De aquel golpe quedé para siempre paralizado. Ya no me puedo ver en este lado. Me fui perdiendo al parecer un poco más. Que ayer, que ayer, un poco más que ayer, que ayer, desordenado.
Take it away, Carlos Fandango.
Right. Well, okay. So in the opening section, I have a slight issue because I really like this song, but I have a slight issue in so much as the only thing I don't like about the song is that there's guitar squeaks in the intro. Now, I don't mind guitar squeaks being used sparingly if they're rhythmic, which they are in this case, but it was just a bit too prominent. So I'd probably dip the automation on that, on the volume, and just soften those slightly. They work fine because they're rhythmic, but they're a little bit too prominent for my liking. Other than that, I really like this. There's the I have forgotten the name of the type of instrument.
Mellotron.
Well, sorry, no. Yeah, I was going to say about the Mellotron, but there's before that. They've got the vibraphone. I think it's a vibraphone he's using, and that's subtle in there. And then at the 1:15 mark, the Mellotron enters, and that's just so nice. It's on the flute setting, really nice sound. Then you've got the 1:55 mark where the vocals and the beat only are just come in, and it just sort of gives the song a bit of ebb and flow as usual, and that sort of thing I like. It's a nice idea. Then the song comes back in again with harmonies, melody, nice little subtle guitar touches. 2:50 mark, it goes into a slow section, which does seem to be the alternative to a break these days. It seems to be that everything goes into this very formulaic, but it's a nice song and it's handled well, and it ends in a slightly different way as well. So it's that little section at the end is just slightly different. So I think it's quite pretty creative song, actually, mellow song, and it's a nice, relaxed song. But whether it's radio friendly, I'm not so sure, but I like it, and it's quite creative in its approach.
Miss Justine Painter, what do you say?
Yes, thank you. For me, I personally loved this song. It really evoked emotion for me. I would imagine if I knew the lyrics that the sound would fit the lyrics. There was just a flow of the instruments and his voice that just created magic for my mind. It's my favorite so far of those that we've listened to. I thought that it made you imagine slow dancing with your loved one on a vacation in the South, where Spanish-speaking countries are. You really felt moved. There was I think a Spanish guitar, which I think differs from the other guitars that we have here. It's a twang, a certain stronger twang that I really appreciated. The instrumental rhythms, the refreshing pad sounds. It was probably even good enough without vocals. The music itself was so beautiful. That's what I tend to listen to. And in fact, I even wanted his vocals to be less prominent in certain places, but they were still really good. Maybe even, just a little lower in volume in certain places, sung more softly even. On the other hand, maybe he could add some harmonizing vocals. I think he did add one closer to the end that was beautiful, that he could add more into the song. Let's see, a little more than a third in, I've got a note to myself, I wanted him to carry his vocal note longer to add to that transition beauty. There was a part where his voice stopped a little bit and there was a transition, and I really wanted him to just float that into the transition. Otherwise, really nice range of sounds. About 3/4 in, it gets a bit lofty and creative, and then it just closes wonderfully. There's a really satisfying change toward the end that I wanted to extend. I wanted it again to extend that change towards the very end. Anyway, that's just lovely song, really lovely.
There you go. I liked it. Very slick production. I'm kind of wondering. I know that he mentions that he works with a few people there, but it almost sounds like a one-man band kind of situation here. So I'm wondering if he's doing a lot of the footwork himself, because the drums themselves to me kind of like felt like maybe it was a drum machine rather than an actual drummer. It was a very steady bum 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 bum, right? Kind of like a very steady beat there. It didn't seem to be many changes going on where the drums are concerned with that. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe the guitar and the vocals are done by one person, making this even better of a production. Very calming. I do wish that I understood the lyrics, because that would make it
Oh, yeah.
in my mind, because it did feel like one of those songs where like, let's say that you were like in somewhere down in Miami, chilling, at like a tiki bar and just kind of like hanging out. You have a beach view with the swaying palm trees, and then you have a song like this going on. Very cool, calm, relaxing, nice production. I think that song works on both levels, whether we're talking about it being recorded in a studio or whether it being performed live in that sort of setting. I'm not sure, because I've never been to like an all-out kind of like, let's say like a Spanish speaking kind of concert. I don't know if that works like in a concert setting, but it definitely would work, I think, myself personally, in kind of like once again that kind of like relaxed, kind of like tiki vibe tiki bar vibe, kind of like
Oh,
so.
I,
Yeah,
I'd love to watch him perform. Yeah.
yeah.
There's a video of him performing, and it's good.
Is there really?
Yeah, it's a little weird. They get kind of close to his face a few times. But-
Justine's putting us to shame here, Carl. She's doing more research than we do here.
We're dealing with a professional here, Tom.
Oh no, definitely not me.
In my
I'm
defense,
pretending.
in my defense, this is my first time hearing these songs. Okay, Carlos picks
That's
these.
true.
Yeah. Hey.
And for me, it almost is, because I only remember them when I hear them again. Because my memory is so bad, I just forget every track. Everyone's new to me tonight.
Right.
Although I probably have listened to them twice when I was actually going through them, putting the comments on.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like me and Justine were new to you too.
Oh. That's something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you got there, Carl.
Is the Alzheimer's getting that bad now? So,
Who are you guys? Well, it's got your names on the screen, so that's okay. Reminds me.
That'll help you remember.
oh boy.
No, it's it's a good point about the voice, actually, because there's something I'd not put on those notes. I liked his voice a lot, and he conveys a certain feel through. So even though we don't know the lyrics, what they mean, you sort of get the vibe of the song through the way he's delivering it, and so the delivery is really good. And considering it's none of us are actually understanding what he's singing, which is probably quite important, really. But that we're enjoying the vibe of the music to the degree
Anyway.
that we are. So
It
Yeah.
speaks volumes alone. Just that fact.
Yeah,
itself.
with the lyrics being about the sad subjects that they are, I'm sure that it would be really meaningful if we understood it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Good.
Oh boy.
So
I was going to retort on something that you had said, Carl, and now I just completely forgot. So, man.
Oh, I interrupted. Sorry.
It's okay. This is just
I was saying about his vocal, and although you did respond on the vocals.
yeah. So here, what we were talking about before is you and I have talked about this on many occasions that if you're doing music for the music, you're not doing the music for the money. You're not looking at it, from the perspective of getting rich or anything like that. Obviously, you want to do it as your job, and you'd like to have that. But if you're doing music for the music, personally, you're going to convey emotion more than anything else, which I think that he did perfectly, even though that we don't understand the lyrics, which is, there you go. See, I'm glad you reminded me of that. So even though we don't understand the lyrics, you could tell that his intentions are very pure at heart. He's writing this music from the heart rather than looking to put something in his wallet, right? So very well done. Wishing you much success. Once again, folks, links to the artists are in the video description below. Please click on those links. Show some support to these indie musicians here. We have song number 7 of this evening coming up now, and this will be officially for the Underground Sounds episode number 12. This will be the 117th.
Wow,
117th review.
Fantastic.
Luke H. Reynolds, The Perfect Song.
It's from Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. Started out in December of 2021 on a wild music journey, streaming live concerts on TikTok, we were talking about earlier, with no prior social media presence. Today, I have 35,000 followers, and they demanded I cut original music, so here I am. And this particular track is this is the first song I ever wrote and had recorded professionally. The perfect part refers to a songwriter's inspiration and how hard it is to find what might be in front of you, right in front of you. He said, I struggle with genre. Please comment what genre you would classify this as. So bear that in mind, viewers. Think about what genre you think this is, and we'll add our 2 penneth and have a listen to this one. I think it's really good.
On a side note, real quick here, as far as this song, as far as this artist is concerned, we are in the midst of setting up a time and a date to do a sit down interview about his success with social media and writing his music. So I thought that was absolutely fascinating. That once again, we were talking about it pre-meeting here, that he has built up such a following on TikTok. 35,000.
Crazy, isn't it? Wow.
It's
brilliant. Really good.
It is an absolutely ridiculous number for me to think about at this moment right now. 35,000, and it happened in a very, very short amount of time, too. Because once again, December of 21, we're not even a year out. We're not even 10 months out. So 9 months out, 35,000 followers, and he keeps on doing it. He keeps on posting, and he's I think he had one session on there that was like 8 hours long or something like that. So very well done. And here is Luke Reynolds with The Perfect Song.
Writing down these words, going crazy just to fight it. Strumming down the strings of life, I'm trying just to write it. But words and words and points and lines, they just won't come together. But rain don't shine or snow and hail, it's all about the weather. And then you come along, you can do no wrong. And then you come along, you can do no wrong. Pouring over sheets of words, I'm feeling kinda hazy. The hand is tied and there's no rhymes, and lines are kind of crazy. But here you are, and there we go. Will it come together? And rain don't shine and snow and hail, it's all about together. We are the perfect song, the perfect song. We are the perfect song, the perfect song.
Mrs. Painter, was that the
Yes.
perfect song?
Yeah, it was definitely very good. You can't go wrong with that title. It's catchy in itself. It's going to attract attention by itself because we all want to hear the perfect song. And I like that it's about his experience in creating that, in finding himself and his originality. A lot of his success is attributed to the fact that he is capable of doing what looks like hundreds of songs by other artists. He can play endlessly other songs, other artists' songs. And that's what I think he's playing on TikTok to get attention. And everybody said, "Oh, damn, you're so good. You've got to go do this on your own." And that's where he's starting out. And obviously his success has skyrocketed. just with one song. I mean, this is his very first song, and he's already got a following, and they're all just it's going to be exponential now. I wrote a list of things down that he has succeeded with, and the huge repertoire of songs that he can do being one of them. Let's see, in the middle of May, he finished number 5 in the entire United States for TikTok live earners. He's got a talent agency now helping him. He caught their attention, and now they're helping him get better and do the right things to really succeed. He was invited to perform at TikTok headquarters in California. He's got articles on him. The local news did an article on him. His company, Cisco, that he works for, did an article on him. I saw in reviews that he's been compared to Jack Johnson and John Mayer. Also compared to Dave Matthews, Howie Day, etc. So yeah, I mean, the story is familiar in a sense because he started when I did, and he had a history of doing other artists' songs, which I did not have. My only ahead of him factor is that I've got a few more original songs, but he's got a foundation that's just going crazy. He's got tons of recognition and support, and I'm not even on TikTok yet, so who knows? Maybe I'll catch up someday if I get on TikTok.
Well, hopefully we all will on TikTok.
Yeah.
Carlos Fandango, what say you, sir?
Loved the acoustic guitar intro with the organ coming in as well, and the outro actually was really nice as well. Just nice little touches all the way through. Really great vocal delivery, brilliant. Production was on point. Just production techniques are really good. Slick is that word again, and very commercially viable. With I've put relatable as well. So lyrically and just melodically, and with the structure and the harmonies and everything, it's all very ear friendly, and it had a solo that we've been waiting for all night in the right section. There we are, guitar solo, and a good one at that as well. Really good solo, because it starts out simply, and not all guitar solos have to be complicated and shredding. To be the best ones are usually the ones that are memorable because they've got actual melody in them. So it starts off nice and simply, then a few little embellishments, and then suddenly it goes into sort of a more flourishes of guitar solos. But it's very old style guitar solo in a way, because something you would hear in the late 70s, early 80s, proper sort of a guitar solo, and that was really good to hear. And that is the one we've been waiting for all night. So, but yep, love the song. I thought it's a really good song.
Yeah, it's not just the one that we've been waiting for all night. It's it's a couple of shows in the making. We've been talking about it. We talked about it with Russ Palladino. We talked about it with Rich Davis. Guitar solo. What happened to the guitar solos, right? And this one really delivered on it, because, as you had mentioned, it's a very proper type of guitar solo. It's not it's not over the top. It's not just thrown in at random. It is very properly done. Starts off nice and smooth, and just kind of like goes into, and through this metamorphosis into something wonderful. Listen, not much to say here. It's once again, just to bring up the word again, slick production. It's a pro production. The organ was one thing that caught my ear as well, because I thought I was thinking of the Doors when I was like listening to it. I could hear it kind of subtly in the background, right? So it wasn't overpowering, obviously. Great song overall. Listen, I mean, I think that Luke here has a very, very, very bright future ahead of him. As we were talking about Leah Simmons, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think that she has a very bright future ahead of her. I think that Luke definitely has a very bright, immediate future ahead of him. Everything right now is working to his advantage from some of the stuff that I've seen since you had mentioned him to me. I think you posted him on our WhatsApp chat as a matter of fact, right? Or did you email me that one?
Might be emailed, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember, but in either case, when you mentioned him, I checked out some of the stuff, and he does have a lot going on, and I think that in the immediate future, that Luke has a very bright and very promising career, and I mean, he's talented, so he can definitely pull it off and keep it going. So, nice job, Luke. Looking forward to the interview when we can set that up, and we'll chat soon. Everybody, once again, links in the video description below. Go look at all these artists, find out some more about them. Maybe you'll find a song that you like personally. So once again, you're going to listen to stuff here that you're not going to hear on the radio. So by all means, check out these wonderful artists for pumping out the wonderful music that they do. Check out our certified banger section. Please check out Fandango's faves, text tracks, all the sections that we have going on here, highlighting specific musicians and everything like that. And we do hope that you enjoy the show here. Moving right along, though, we have part 2 of the Purple Ball of Destiny.
Here it is. Right. Who wants to call it this time?
Oh, Justine, by all
Justine
means.
again?
Ladies first.
Right. Okay.
Ready,
So,
set, go.
right. Come on. Which one's going to come out?
No looking.
Oh. Simple. Rock. Oh, is it coming
Rock.
through?
Rock.
Rock. That was it. There we go. Rock. So what's it going to be? We haven't had a proper out-and-out rock track for a little while now, I think. Feels like we haven't. Anyway, we've had some sort of rock-tinged and alt-rock stuff, but not just straight up rock. I think Tim McMillan was the last one we had, was what we would probably call a rock or metal song.
Yeah. 'Cause I was going to say, because Arval Goddess was definitely up there with the heavy metal genre, so that wasn't really really rock there. But no, I don't think rock, if we're going to think of it like as a Bon Jovi kind of factor or anything, we definitely haven't had a proper rock track. Maybe this one will be it. Apollo Composition, posted 2 hours ago. This is the biggest one, the Onslaught. Let's get some more info here from Liverpool.
Oh,
Check it out from, well, not exactly from your neck of the woods. That's way like northwest of you there.
Yep.
But yeah, Apollo Composition specializes in composing music for visual media and is based in the northwest of England. Founder Mark's favorite genres of music are classic rock, rap, electronic, and soul, but loves writing music in multiple styles and genres. Let's see. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Jimi Hendrix, Free are the top 5 influences there.
can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. Oh, this is a very short one. Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
1 minute 43 seconds. I think they're trying to keep up with the
Times.
attention span of today's kids. So let's check this one out. Apollo Composition with The Onslaught. I will say,
Mhm.
let's let Justine take this one away because I think some of those sounds are going to be right up her alley.
Yes. Yeah, I got to tell you that definitely has the Middle Eastern influence there. The beginning was beautiful. There was kind of a muffled feeling about how the sounds progressed. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but yeah, mysterious. The guitar comes in and it just feels almost spooky like or sexy, you know. It obviously abrupted very quickly, ended really quickly. And I think it was almost like an experiment that needs to finish. It needs to continue. It needs to build into an explosive kind of pinnacle and then, taper off in the same manner. That's my opinion. It has potential to be amazing. But that's all I could think of without hearing it in advance and through my own system. So
That's quite all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carlos Fandango, what say you, sir?
Yeah, I mean, that's first thing I wrote down was and I thought of Justine in that actually because it had the arabesque sounds and theme and almost have a Nagila sort of sound with the notes, but the drums were nice sound, the tom-toms, and it was I like I know what you're saying about the muffliness. I think maybe it was just the tom-toms just had that sort of muffled sound to them. But yeah, a longer track, it would definitely work as a longer track, almost like that's the intro to something a bit epic. But if that was the case, then I think you would definitely need an Ozzy Osbourne style vocal or something over it. I can hear something like that. I mean, it's not quite on par with something like, some of the Led Zeppelin sort of Robert Plant sort of, that kind of vocal might not work so well, but I do think an Ozzy Osbourne style vocal, some sort of rock vocal would work really well on that track. And the track could be really developed as well.
There could be way more that could be done to that one. Kind of like having this one, composing music for visual media and based in northwest of England. I'm kind of thinking like maybe if they do, because all their songs seem to be like right around that 143 2-minute. I'm wondering if they're just doing jingles, basically, for lack of a better word here, for companies to use in commercials and so forth.
Sync.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sync licensing, basically. So maybe they're not really looking to get the vocals in there or really get that heavy hitting like kind of effect, like that song in the background of a commercial, like even if you trim 30 seconds or 15 seconds out of it to make a commercial, there's a lot that can be going on with that, right? So I think that's where they're going with it. And as far as that's concerned, I'm going to say that's a great production for what they're doing, and based on their description of what they're doing and what kind of company they have, that's what I think that they are into. Maybe just trying to gain a little bit more notoriety here on Slaps as DistroKid and Slaps is becoming a little more popular throughout time. Not that we have anything to do with that. I'm just saying. Yeah, but no, I liked it. Solid production. The guys, whoever's running this thing, knows what they're doing. They're doing it the right way.
Oh yeah, I want to take it and run with it myself.
You should do a cover of it. Sample it, cover it, use it, and now we are on to song number 9.
Which brings us to Samuel Fairbank, solo artist. Now we've been all over the place today. We've been to America, we've been to the UK. Where did we go for Sergio Jose DeMarco? I can't remember where he was. But now we're off to Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. So he's raised on Australia's east coast and calling the Sunshine Coast home. Samuel Fairbank's relatable honesty in storytelling is slowly etching a place for him in the world of Australian songwriters. For anyone who has ever been and gone in love, Samuel Fairbank's sophomore EP, Freckles, speaks.
Sergio, by the way, was from Buenos Aires.
Ah, That's Argentina, right? Okay, so
So yeah, we are definitely keeping up with our traditional worldwide theme. We are traveling the
Yeah.
world today. So here we go. Samuel Fairbank, Time to Time.
You are like falling water running through my fingers. If I clench my fist much harder, it doesn't make a difference. Now I've let our part all gather, and it's reflecting on my symptoms. As I watch my feet get wetter, I'll teach myself to swim soon. If you wanna go, I'll run, just to find you. Please run towards the sun, 'cause it's cold behind you. You'll find someone. What do I do when I find no one? When I find no one. You watched the storm clouds gather while I was caught up in the sunset. Then I felt the pitter patter that notified your absence. If you wanna go, I'll run, just to find you. Please run towards the sun, 'cause it's cold behind you. You'll find someone. What do I do when I find no one? When I find no one. Let me bleed through this last time. I'll tell you something, do you mind? If you leave, I think I'll die, but I'll still love you time to time. If you wanna go, I'll run, just to find you. Please run towards the sun, 'cause it's cold behind you. You'll find someone. What do I do when I find no one? When I find no one.
Alrighty. Justine, you have notes going on. How are you feeling about that song?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry, Tom, but it came through rather poorly. My audio of that song was not too good.
I'm sure.
But I did luckily listen to that in advance, which is a difference. I mean, if you hear it's pristine effects, it's beautiful. He has a very unique voice. It's tender. It's emotionally convincing. It actually adds to those sad lyrics, which are obviously about the loss of love. There were some harmonizing vocals, I think female. I couldn't quite make that out, but I think they were female. That they actually start subtly early, and it's just kind of like you anticipate the beautiful anticipation that what's going to come into the chorus. Well, the chorus, by the way, is really nice. It makes you want to sing along. It gives you a certain kind of high. There's an example with his analogies. He writes his own music. He says, you watched the storm clouds gather while I was caught up in the sunset. Then I felt the pitter patter that notified your absence. I thought that was beautiful. There's a lot of other analogies he uses in that whole thing. that are really done well, and his voice is just lends directly to the emotions that he writes about. Apparently, a lot about relationship pain, So we've all been there, and it just makes you relate. And he's very good at it. The instrumentation was minimal, I felt, except I think it was bass that came in the chorus, maybe also some piano. It was very subtle, but it worked. I mean, it'd be wonderful to see him perform. It's like he doesn't need a band. It was effective, I thought. It did seem to me that he needed a little bit more in the beginning, but I think it ended to fit nicely. It set the story stage, almost as if he, as the storyteller, was stripped of color, for lack of a better word. It was like he was just so sad, and that's why the beginning is just so sparse. I think it worked. It ended up working. But yeah, he's doing well on Spotify. He's been added to playlists. So yeah, he's got a promising future, I believe.
All right. Carlos Fandango, it looks like your computer may be overheating. You're starting to get a little bit of a Max Headroom effect going on.
Oh, really? Oh, that's quite cool. I'll keep that going then. I like that. Max Headroom. So I've written down a few of the same words that Justine's used there. I really like his voice as well. It is unique. Very tender, I've written. Emotional delivery, beautiful lyrics, and that's exactly the line that I really stood out. And I'm listening to this thinking, guys, really emotional song. It's got a real pull of emotion, and it's mainly down to his voice. It's a nice song though.
Yeah.
All the same, the dynamics of the song are nice. It's handled sparsely, but really in keeping with the lyrics. I like it when the drums come in. It's got a nice sort of I don't know if it's a gated reverb, but it's certainly got that sort of that might be the sound that came the way it came through, but it's a really nice sound on that snare. And the clever thing about this song was that when that chorus came in first, the drums drop and come in, and then they drop out very quickly. And that's nice. It happens a second time, the second chorus. On the third chorus, you're expecting it to come in again. It doesn't. And that's exactly supports what Justine was saying, that it's the protagonist of the song, yes, is stripped down to nothingness and just left with nothing, and the drums have gone by that, the heartbeat's gone by that point. It's it really
that gave me goosebumps.
And
Very good.
It's very it's just really well handled song. Definitely a promising future, because that's a really nice voice he's got there and unique, and that's one of the main things of being a recognizable artist, is that you could be somebody knows it's you from the first moment you start singing, and having that unique voice. Bob Dylan isn't the best singer in the world, but it's him. Jimi Hendrix wasn't the best singer, but it's him. Mm-hmm. And it's the uniqueness of the timbre of the voice that's the most important thing.
Well, just going back to your point, Johnny Cash is basically, for the most part, spoken word, right? But the whole thing is just the delivery on it. So I'm not going to mimic everything that you guys are saying here, because you're absolutely right with everything that you're saying. If you recall, Carl, we had was it Griffin Bryce?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Griffin. So Griffin had a song that was similar to this. I don't remember the name of the song exactly, but it had to do with.
I'll look it up.
Look it up, please. It was on the last episode of the episode before that. We had Griffin Bryce. He also had this kind of like love and loss kind of song, and obviously this resonates with everyone. Because everybody's been there and we've gone through it, right? So it's very poppy, it's very mainstream friendly. I agree with everything that both of you are saying here. The first person that it reminded me of was Griffin Bryce with that song, exactly, because it seems to be along that even keel with the with the guitar and almost ukulele sounding guitar in there, right? Where it's just ever so subtle. The instrumentals, the vocals are the prominent feature here, where they're telling a story, and that's what you should really be paying attention to. And I think that it's I think it's a pro production. I think it's very mainstream friendly. It's very poppy. Good job. Bright future in music ahead of you right there.
Griffin Bryce's song was Sun Chaser.
Sun Chaser.
Yes, it stayed in your head.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah. So there we go. Once again, on the Underground Sound, we found a lot of talent here. So visit the video description below. Find this talent that you're hearing here. This is stuff that you're not hearing on the radio yet. You might be later on. Who knows? We may bring our radio station back, bring it on to the FM vibes, and get the put the underground into the mainstream with these indie musicians who are doing such fantastic work creating all of this music out here. And we're going to segue into our last song here, our show closer of the day. Oh, this is always so sad when our show closer comes around. Listen to such good music throughout the episode, and we got to call it quits at some point.
Yep, but we've got a good showstopper here because it's a nice retro flavored big city rocker. I thought this got to be the last song of the day.
So this is good. And NYC Fever sounds good already. I got
it's got good sound. And John Manos is from Atlanta, Georgia, USA. A singer-songwriter working with a revolving group of musicians to bring his original compositions to life. Hail, hail, rock and roll, he says.
Hail, hail, rock and roll.
Influences include the Beatles, Bob Dylan, the Rolling Stones, Beach Boys, Chuck Berry, Buddy Holly, Elvis Presley, Velvet Underground, Creedence Clearwater, and Roy Orbison, Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, loads. All the greats.
Let's check it out right now. NYC Fever by the Middlebees. I just wanted to check. I don't know what's going on with that for whatever reason.
Strange,
I don't want to restart the meeting. It's a good thing that you guys have listened to this song already. So so I'm just going to leave this part unmuted. Let's just go throughout the song here. proper kind of rock song there, Carlos Fandango.
Yeah, proper rock song. They really gave us the horn there, didn't they? That was good. It was it was basically lots of horns, guitars, good rock vocals, good range. I was trying to place my finger on what it was. What I'm hearing is, yeah, which band is it most like? And I just can't think. But there's the Jay Giles band who did Centerfold, that sort of sound. But it's that kind of back in the day, late 70s, early 80s, when America was confident, that kind of oozing the confidence of the nation that came out in the music. That's what I'm hearing there, and it's just really good. I just loved some of the horns at the start leading into the first verse. Got a really nice chord there with layered up horns and stuff, and just thought it was nice structure, solid vocals, slick production again. Yeah, and great brass. So that was very good. I thought, yeah, nice one to end the show on.
Miss Wayward Waves, what say you?
Come here.
So is the brass, the horns, is that what makes it seem retro? It's hard for me to pinpoint that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you mentioned, Carl, that it exuded the confidence of the time of the, a few decades ago. And I agree. In fact, it reminds me of that live band sound you would commonly hear in city bars, where there'd be a live band and you'd be at the entrance and that's the sound that you would hear. And we're talking, for me, 80s, 90s. But yeah, it's the brass sound, the horns, it was kind of harsh, at least on my ear. But I think that's probably appealing for the rock that they were trying to achieve, the vintage sound. I do love his voice range. It's really, really good when he goes high. I think that's a great effect. It's satisfying. I really dig, you mentioned the intro. It's the early drum intro is really good. I liked that. The chorus sound, the chorus is great. It really makes you want to sing along. It's kind of like party lyrics. It's just like, oh yeah, let's sing along to this and dance to this or whatever. It reminds me, let's see. Yeah, it's just actually, it seems really well done overall. And it would be interesting to know where that name came from, Middle Bees.
Would be interesting to know where it came from.
Yeah.
Right, Middle Bees. Yeah.
Well, sometimes these things are sort of like, you get middle C on the keyboard, and I'm wondering if it was middle B.
Oh,
and along those lines.
Oh yeah. See, my lack of music knowledge.
Well, it was just occurred when you said about it. I was thinking, I wonder if it's because of that.
Right.
You know what? I just figured out what the audio problems were too. I'm an idiot, is what it is. Because the thing, I was never presenting the damn screen.
Oh, we don't get it.
No. Okay. So when I mute my microphone, right? If I mute it here now.
Oh, of course, yes. Because normally you present the screen on
He's
slaps.
Yep.
Yeah.
The things we learn.
How many technical issues must we go through before I learn? We're crying out loud.
Well, you got
Now you two have changed
about
plans.
120 songs to get there, so
Yeah, 130 at this point. 130.
130.
Yeah. No, listen, great song overall. I'd like to hear a proper kind of like a studio version of this song, because I think that this song was recorded, not that it wasn't recorded in a studio, but I think it was recorded in kind of like a once a kind of like live kind of like situational setting. You get what I'm saying? So it would be nice to hear like a version of this that was broken down instrument by instrument, track by track, and just kind of like layered the way that the way that you would layer something to put on an album. I I know that a lot of people like albums of this sort where, it's that big band live feel like right inside your car or your house or whatever the case may be. And you want that. And a lot of bands have that going on. And just like you, Carl, I was struggling to figure out like who does this sound like? Who does this sound like? But again, with this episode, I've had problems with that with a couple of the acts. So it's great that we're actually finding a lot of original music that we really can't pinpoint. Like, it really doesn't sound like this person. It really doesn't sound like that person. It's something that somebody's made their own and that you're kind of like clinging on to. So, which is just fantastic. It's fantastic that you have bands out there that are doing that where you can't pinpoint, something that somebody else is doing. They're not really like taking from a genre. They're kind of like doing their own thing and you're recognizing them as them. So, just with that alone, I think Middle B's has a bright future because it's a very sticky song in your ear, especially when you're talking about the brass. The brass is a little overpowering, right? It's a little overpowering, but it's one of those things where later on tonight I'll be cooking dinner, and I'll just be sitting there, I'll be sitting there kind of like humming it in my head. So good job. Yeah, I don't know about the genre.
It's I'll say definitely rock, sort of soft rock. Yeah, it just feels like soft rock era.
Vintage rock.
Vintage rock, pop rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, retro rock, all that kind of thing. And I was thinking, actually, is it Brass Construction? They had a sort of more funky feel about them, but they had there's a bit of funkiness about it. And maybe some of Chicago's more brassy sort of ones as well. But it's definitely got something very American in there. Yeah, very confident, very American. And so this is what I try to do with my songs, is make them so that they're new but familiar. And I think that's what they've nailed there, is it's their own song, but they've made it sound just so familiar that you think, oh, I feel like I've kind of heard that somewhere. Well, not that song, but that sound and that artist. And yet they've got their own unique sound, So particularly the vocals, I think, as Justine said, when the vocals went high, he's really, really got good, solid delivery on his high vocals, or all his vocals, but it really works when he goes soaring off high without overdoing it as well.
Right.
Which is important.
Well, the Middle B's, NYC Fever, great job. Wishing you tons and tons and tons of success. Definitely a band I wouldn't mind hearing live. Once again, kind of like there hasn't been like all too many. COVID really fucked a lot of shit up. I haven't been to see a band in a long time, and I would really like to go see a live performance, someone good, especially like we have one of the world famous venues right here in St. Pete, which is Janus Live, and there hasn't even really been much going on there, and it's a shame. I'd love to go out and see a live band, and whether it be a band that sounds like this or any other of the other bands that we have covered today, or the acts that we have covered today for that matter. So once again, please visit the video description below. Find the links to these artists. Go show some love, and we would like to say thank you, Miss Justine Painter of Wayward Waves, for joining us today as our guest commentator on our 12th episode of the Underground Sound, where we are putting the us back into music.
So please do like, subscribe, and share, and let's get your music out there.
We will see you next time, 2 weeks from now. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
See you.